Good evening, Charlotte.
Good evening, Pierre.
You are Charlotte Ming, the Director of Social Development at FM Logistic.
Sustainable development.
Sustainable
Yes.
Development, sorry.
Right?
And you are here to talk about the Faster Mind Challenge.
Yeah.
So first of all, can you please explain to everybody who's looking on YouTube and for later, what is the Faster Mind Challenge about?
Yeah. So good evening, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. So first of all, yes, the Faster Mind Challenge is the challenge we organized for the third year in a row at FM Logistic, dedicated for students and young graduates in order to innovate and find new solutions for tomorrow's supply chain. So this is a challenge that is very important to us. First, because this is the objective to find ideas. Why not the idea in terms of sustainable development and in innovations in general? And this is also a fantastic opportunity for us to show the importance and the challenges of this sector, which is supply chain and logistics.
Okay.
How rich, how international, how interconnected the sector is. And I think one of the most important challenges that we have right now in supply chain is sustainable development.
Okay.
How to make sure that we deliver, that we stock, that we deliver all the goods more and more effectively, but while preserving our planet, while keeping our jobs, while taking care of the health and well-being of our employees. So definitely, sustainable development is a key challenge for us. And so for that, to win that challenge, we need cooperation, we need open innovation, and we need you.
Okay, great. So this is why you've organized everything
Yes.
on the Agorize platform for this year.
Yeah.
If you want, we can go on now and have a little presentation of what FM Logistic is all about. What's the job you're doing on an everyday basis, and what's your goals, your vision, and your missions.
Right. So the vision of the group is it's a family business. It's been created 50 years ago. And it's really well oriented on values, people, taking care about people.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is also why sustainable development is at the heart of our vision.
Okay.
Our vision, which is teams creating solutions for a sustainable supply chain, enabling a better quality of life. So you can see that in the mindset, in the DNA of the company, sustainability and how we make sure that we ensure long-term perspective activity of the company. Mm-hmm. It's really, really important. So this is why it's one of the hot topic of the company right now.
Okay, so we are going to present more or less what the Sustainable Development Program at FM Logistics, and then we go through some questions that have been asked by you on the website. Yeah. So we collected some of those questions and we organized some answers with FM Logistics, so you can have live answers. If you have some more questions, please feel free to ask your questions all along, and we will answer to them at the end of the presentation. So we can now have a presentation of the FM Logistics Sustainable Development Program.
Yeah. So very briefly, because the idea is not to have a top-down presentation, like it's aperitif time, so it has to be entertaining. But if I can be brief and sharp, the idea is to put into action this vision I mentioned a few minutes ago.
Okay.
Because words are words and actions are actions, and we are really keen on actions at FM Logistics. So we have three main priorities, I would say. First one is about people, which is definitely our hot priority. 26,000 people working in a challenging environment. So the first priority for us is to make sure that we offer and we provide a safe and fair working environment. So this is the basic and the main topic for us. Second point is to ensure that we develop their skills, because in logistics, as well as in many other sectors, employability is the buzzword right now, but it's definitely a challenge for us. And the last point, and this is really key also in a more digitalized world, it's about creating a collaborative culture. So this is more or less the three working topics that we have on the first pillar.
Okay.
The ambition for us is to be the preferred employer in the sector for our collaborators, to attract and retain people. And for that, we have two main targets. The first one is to be below the sector in terms of accidents rates by 2022, which is our program, which is already the case. So maintain this strength as a positive point in our company, and to ensure that we have over 80% of staff member satisfaction. So we will continue measuring satisfaction of our employees, and so this is really important that we are on the top level of satisfaction rate. So maybe some of you know the Net Promoter Score. So to be on a positive Net Promoter Score, we need to be over 80. So this is the point.
Great.
Second challenge is about environment. Here it's again a hot topic for cities, for youth, citizens, students, young generation, but also less young generation. So the challenge here is to improve the environmental footprint of our activities, both on our platforms. We have almost 180 or over approximately 180 platforms over the world, and also to decrease the impact of the transportation, the footprint of transportations. So to do that, we have a strong program in order to reduce the energy in the warehouses, to produce energy on our warehouses with solar panels or whatever can be renewable energy in the future.
To produce on-site?
On-site, exactly.
Good.
And the target at the end is to have neutral platforms, neutral logistic platform by 2030.
Okay.
So to do that, a long path and a smooth path, but an important path. And last but not least, the last pillar is about enlarging our activities to external stakeholders. So develop the offers with our customers, develop also the innovations with startups, with students, with whoever can be part of the supply chain. As I said before, we need to include all the supply chain elements, components, in order to increase the positive impact of this activity. So this is how we will build a strong offer for our customers. And the idea is by 2022 to have a comprehensive dashboard for every customer with the positive impacts, positive and less positive impacts of our activity for their supply chain. So to be transparent and to help also to help them to show progresses in their own activities. That, and also to have maybe one of the most important KPI is to generate 20% of our turnover thanks to sustainable offers. So sustainable offers, it can be urban logistics with clean transportation, it can be warehousing activities with neutral buildings, etc., etc. So this is a global comprehensive program, really transversal. Many departments in the company are involved in that. HR people, maintenance, sales people. So it's really a group program, and we really rely on innovation because for us it's key. It's about the business. It's about how we move forward in new activities. So innovation is really the heart at the heart of that. And so this is why the Fastermed challenge for me is really exciting.
Great. So those three pillars that you just talked about are above the whole value chain of FM Logistics.
Yes.
So every of your different jobs, everyone at FM Logistics is under this program, right?
It would be maybe too ambitious to say that, but this is the idea. Yes, it's a program designed by employees. Designed by many people in the company, external and external, and it's a program concerning all departments of the companies.
If you want now, maybe we can go to some questions.
Yes.
And I have a few questions to ask. For example, what are your main activities at FM Logistics? Because we were just speaking of those three pillars going on all the value chain. So what's the value chain? What are the main activities in FM Logistics?
So maybe going a little bit more in detail than before. So as I said, we have three main activities. So warehousing and handling. So this is basically the step where we take care of the products of our customers in warehousing. So they go from the plants of our customers to the what we call a distribution center before being sent either to a shops or to a B2C house or anything directly to the customer. So it's warehousing. Second activity is transportation. So I think transportation is roughly pretty clear for everyone. Challenge in sustainable development is for sure mutualization of transportation. It's also about clean transportation. It's also about connecting different transporter subcontractors in terms of transportation. So this is more or less the key. And last activity is co-packing. So as I said, it's when you, for instance, you receive shampoo. There are several shampoo, but you need to put it in one pack in order to put it in the shops more nicely for marketing purpose. So this is what we call co-packing activity.
Okay, great. So there was actually lots of questions around this challenge about co-packing, about your different activities. So maybe we can go now through those questions, and we can answer the questions that people have asked on the challenge.
Yes.
One of the questions that were asked was, what are today's packaging methods at FM Logistic?
So the packaging methods we have, it depends on the products we have. For sure, it can be shampoo, it can be IT tools like computers or whatever. So we take care of all products that our customers can have, from the factory to the final delivery to the final customers. So packaging activity, packaging methods can be either manual or more and more digitalized, because very often these are repetitive activities that can be digitalized quite easily, and sometimes the activities are not with so many values. So this is why we innovate a lot in this activity. But in some countries it's still a manual activity because it can change from one marketing purpose to another. So it has to be very flexible. If you want to see more about that, we have on our YouTube channel a lot of videos about innovation, about co-packing activities. So FM Logistic YouTube channel is a good point to know more about that.
Okay, so all the insights and informations can be found on your YouTube channel. That's a good information. Thank you. So the next questions that we found very interesting was about the trucks, and people were asking how many trucks and drivers you have at FM Logistics. How many employees are there, and how many trucks do you own if you do?
No, that's a very good question, because in fact we don't have so many trucks by ourselves, because we are mainly a transportation organizer. So that means that we subcontract to other to truck owners the transportation, but we also have trucks. But the number of trucks that we have depends on the products we have to deliver. We have around 3,500 trucks per day on our platforms. We have around 1,000 subcontractors working for us in the different countries. So that even if we don't own so many trucks, we have many subcontractors working for us.
Okay, great. That's a very good answer. Thank you very much. One of the next question was what is the average distance of a truck per day? Maybe that's an answer you get from your subcontractors. Do you know roughly?
Well, we for sure we know, because we know where it comes from and where it goes. So we have the distance. It depends on the type of delivery that we have. As I said, we have, if I summarize, it's probably too simple, but if I summarize, we have deliveries from the plant of our customers to the distribution centers that are more or less our warehouses. And on those distance, it can be several hundred kilometers. And on the other side, but more or less, let's say 100 kilometers from the plant to the warehouse. And then from the warehouse to the city, generally we have warehouses not so far away from the city.
Okay.
So it's more about 30, 50 kilometers. We also have international transportation, and in that case it can be thousands of kilometers. So if you ask about how many kilometers per day, it depends on the local legislation, because in Europe a driver cannot drive over a certain number of hours, and so it depends on the legislation. But it's really difficult to answer that question, but it can be short distance, and we have a lot of urban logistic delivery that are short distance, and we have we have also longer distance.
Okay, so this question was asked about trucks, but maybe do you organize also flights? Do you organize planes? No, you're all about trucks?
Yes, that's a very good question.
Very good to know.
Yes, we focus on road transportation.
Okay, good. The next question that was asked is really focused on a very new topic, a very trendy topic. How digital is FM Logistic? So what's the digitalization level at FM Logistic?
So first, digitalization is a key topic in all sectors, but especially in logistics, because we have a lot of information and data that are going through supply chain flows. So digitalization is really key also, and very positive in terms of traceability of the products, which is a hot topic right now. In terms of digitalization in our warehouses, we have a strong innovation policy, technical innovation policy, and we see digitalization as an opportunity to increase efficiency, for sure, to reduce difficulties with some activities that we have, and so we have automatization in our warehouses. We have drones that are able to carry inventories, for instance. We have robotic arms that enable some activities to be automatized and done several times without any painfulness. We have AGVs that are autonomous trolleys. Like drivers. So if you want to know more, again, we have a lot of videos that will be able to be more concrete and more visual to show that on our YouTube channel.
Okay, great. It's very good to know then. The next question that was asked is more about your company and about the people there.
Yeah.
So what is the importance for you, or what's the social matter in an organization with 26,000 collaborators, and what are human relationships so important to you?
So to FM Logistic.
FM Logistic, I mean you personally, and to FM Logistic for sure.
I love people for sure, but for FM Logistic it's very important, I would say, first because of the DNA of the company. As I said, it's a family business, it's a family company, independent today, not a listed company. And so in our company, company is something personal. People, we care about people. Consideration is really an important management style, important in our management style. It's also important because of the sector. We are a labor-intensive sector, and especially now that we have a big challenge in terms of attraction and retention in all the sector. But, we are also facing that, so we have a big challenge to attract people. So for sure, social matters are a key topic in order to attract. And also because we create every year 3,000 jobs worldwide, even with digitalization, because I know that sometimes we put into contradiction digitalization and job creation, but we still have a lot of employment to create, and we need to integrate those people who arrive every year in the company. And so this is why social issues are so important in the company, because this is key that these people that are integrating the company feel good, feel updated, feel in a good condition in order to do their job.
Okay, great. Thank you. The next question that was asked is, how do you act concretely to decrease the impact of your activities on the environment?
So yes, that's a good point. I mentioned some of the example earlier. So we have a strong an important program in terms of energy efficiency. So some of our platforms follow their environmental consumption and go into an approach in order to decrease step by step the energy efficiency with new equipment, with raising awareness of the employees, with digitalization is also a great support in that. In terms of transportation, as I said, the key levers, I would say, in order to decrease environmental footprint are probably mutualization of the transportation, because there is no more efficient activity in terms of environment than avoiding trucks on the road.
Yes, of course.
So for sure, mutualization is a key topic for us, and this is, I would say, something where we are pioneer, because we invented more or less the idea that when we have different retailers in the same warehouse, we have multi-client warehouses.
Yes.
We should mutualize the same delivery if they go into the same shops.
Okay, so
even if
over
you
the
have
co-packing, you even go into the same truck?
Yeah, for instance, we have a shampoo, but we have also whatever could be
mayonnaise,
toilet paper and mayonnaise,
paper.
But they all go depending on we have hygiene constraints, of course. But let's forget about that. And if they all go into the same shops, into the same distribution shops, we manage with all the tools we have and all the information we get from the customers to put them into the same trucks, and this is what we call pooling, and this is definitely one of our key assets.
Okay, so
in
like
that fight.
People are doing car pooling today, you are doing truck pooling.
That's the idea, yes, to decrease empty kilometers driving. Yeah.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah. And so, are you looking for any certifications? Are your warehouses certificated?
Yeah. All the warehouse that we build today are certified with the highest level of environmental excellence. We call that LEED certification in France, and HQE, certification, haute qualité environnementale in France, and LEED in the international
markets,
also warehouses, market. Thank you. So all these platforms are really on the top level of environmental footprint. We consider that they consume 25% less than a regular platform. So this is really an input. And for exploitation, we have more and more certification in terms of environmental issues. So ISO 14001 certification, which is the environmental certification. So yes, we also go into that approach, because it's also a proof of our actions for our customers or for our partners.
Okay. So is it also where I know you have an internal partner that is named NG Concept?
Yes.
Is it where they also take action? Is where also they have the importance?
NG partner is is key in that process, because they are building or they are designing and building our platforms. So this is really a differentiator on the market. We build our own buildings, and we build them on the top level of excellence in terms of environment, and we build them for our own needs. So this is really key in order to make sure that everything is thought carefully to be as efficient as possible. Okay. So yes, NG, who is also participating to the challenge, is a key partner for us.
Great.
Maybe we can show the infography
yes.
that we have on the website.
We can show the infography you have. It's of course a very good insight.
So what we did last year, we measured the carbon footprint of warehouses. So maybe to be concrete for you that are not logistics specialists, that helps to understand what can be the carbon footprint of a warehouse. So this is on our website, so fmlogistic.com. You will see on the Sustainable Development section a nice picture in order to show how a platform looks. So you can see it's buildings with boxes, with trolleys, with you can see in the middle you have the energy room with all the cables for the energy. Yes.
Okay, like here it is.
Yes, and then you have the 5 different categories in terms of carbon footprint. So what you can see here is that almost 50% of the carbon footprint of a platform is about energy.
Okay.
So lighting, heating, and it's mainly related to warehousing activities and co-packing activity. Then the second...
so it's electric energy or is it
it's
also fuel?
Electric or gas or fuel. We have not so many fuel on the platform.
Okay, it's all
mainly electricity. So this is why this is a hot topic to put renewable energy on our platforms in order to decrease and to have positive energy platforms. And we also have different. I won't go into the detail, but this is the idea that if you go on that infography, this is interesting to see the different components of carbon footprint, and also we also added the different solutions we put in place in order to decrease the footprint.
Okay, so it's very good hints for people doing the Faster Mind Challenge to have starting points.
A starting point, but many other things have to be invented. Yeah.
Okay, great. Oh, sure.
I disturbed the.
No, that's a very good
scenario.
Thing.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's a very good thing to show. We have other questions to go through. One of the questions that was on the platform also was on how do you manage your short ROI and your long-term perspective of sustainable development. Must be difficult to deal with those both.
Yes, so the ROI, so return on investment. You're right. In logistics, we have a small margin. This is more a market of volumes and a market of margin. So we need to be quite careful about costs and cost structure. And on the other hand, sustainable development and especially energy transition programs are very often on a long-term perspective. So that has to be managed, definitely. I would say that the solution for that is the prioritization of actions and to start with actions that have the highest impact with the lowest cost effect. So that is quite obvious, but this is an exercise that we do regularly in the Sustainable Development Department to make sure that we are reasonable and that we stick to reality. And we have to be smart and to find finance opportunities, cooperation with customers, with partners. We very often also answer to call for proposal from Ministry of the Environment or from European Union or from other organizations. So it's agility, I would say.
to be agile in this sector.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
Good, thank you for this. One of the last question would be an easy one for this Fastermind Challenge 3rd edition.
Yes.
What do you expect for the Fastermind Challenge? Do you have?
I expect well, for sure I expect ideas. I
Yes.
expect international participation because I think the very strong point that we have at FM is the international coverage of the company, and very often cultural perspective helps to also find innovative solutions. So I would say, for instance, in our Indian subsidiary, they have a lot of innovations related to health and well-being or waste.
Okay.
And so that is really helpful for other countries where they are more on the energy side. So what we can discover within the company, I'm sure we can also discover in the Fastermind Challenge. So I'm really keen on. I'm really excited to see the different international contribution.
Okay, so you're looking for international profiles,
Yeah.
looking at people, but looking at ideas at the same time.
Yes, and as you can see, sustainable development, it's not only about environment.
Yes.
For us, it's really comprehensive between social inputs, environmental issues, and innovative offers, solutions.
It's a global comprehension of development.
As sustainable development, it's the central point, the balance between development, economics, social, and environmental. So
okay, so
we are there.
It's about your people. It's about the job itself. About the trucks. It can be also for NG concept as well. So it's on a whole.
Yes. On the whole scope, yeah.
Whole scope. Yeah. Okay, very good.
No limits.
No limit.
Sky is the limit.
Okay. Now we'll see if there's some questions online to answer about. Okay, so if there's none,
we can
close now.
All right.
And thank you for coming and for answering all these questions.
And what about if some other people have other questions? Can they write to you?
Okay, so now they can write on the platform, of course, FM Logistic will take care of the answers, as we will take care of the answers as well.
Okay.
And we will soon put this video online, so we'll put it on the website, on the FAQ page of the Fastermind Challenge 3rd edition.
Okay.
And we will put just under an FAQ, so the list of the questions we've answered just right now. Yeah. And so people can check at any time.
Maybe just one point about the next steps. We could just explain the next steps.
Yes, sure.
The timing. So I'm pretty sure you're better than me in explaining the dates and the planning.
Sure.
So they have until December in order to submit the teams.
Exactly, until the 2nd of December, you can submit your IDs. So about all of what we discussed just right now. Yeah. So you can submit your IDs. Don't forget to click on the submission button at the bottom.
That's important.
And so your ideas will be available for the jury to vote about the best ideas. So once you've been selected by the jury, you will go on the next step. Okay. And we expect the best ideas to come to the final and win all the prizes that are on the platform.
So, if I'm not mistaken, there is a local finals. There's a local selection in the different countries.
We're talking two finals.
Two finals, and then the final.
There's on. So we have the international final is in May, and the local final will happen a bit earlier. So
that's it.
It's the third step is happening in between the 5th and the 19th of 5th of February next year, and the international final will be happening in May 2018.
So I remember very well the final of last year. It was really an interesting moment because all the teams, they were coming on the head office. They were presenting their project. They were meeting the top management of the company. That is to say,
that's one perk
our
of the
CEO, our innovation director, the HR director, etc. So it's quite an interesting moment. And also we have not all the 26,000 employees supporting the teams, but a lot of people being connected and be sure that for the sustainable development we will push your ideas. We will make sure that all the companies are aware about your innovation, and because you will give us the trends of tomorrow. So this will be very important to us between now and May, and after May to also spread the different innovation. So yes, so definitely do not hesitate to participate. This is a nice moment. This is a nice opportunity to meet us and to contribute to a more sustainable world.
International.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much
Thank
for
you,
coming.
Claire,
Thanks
for the invitation.